Hello guys, welcome to the Ultimate Concept, a concept that gives you the back to back of your graphics design. Now on today's class, or should I say on today's tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you on how you can use your pen tools to crop out pictures on Coreldraw. Now these lessons are for Coreldraw users. Please take note now, it's not for Photoshop users. So join me while I show you how you can be able to crop out image using your pen tools. So let me just go straight into my system and search for my Coreldraw and launch it. Now I want to use this opportunity to tell you guys I love you guys, to give you my seasonal greeting. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. This is a season of happiness, and please, I want you to be very careful what you are eating, and not just what you are eating, but what you should I say, the place you are going to, and you always be on security 247. Like, always keep your phone charged whenever you are going out, because a whole lot of things is happening these days. Now let's go straight into why we are here. Now I've already taught everything about this whole introduction to Coreldraw. You guys know about it. Please, if you don't know about it, please, I will be dropping a link below for beginners in Coreldraw for them to understand what we are just doing here. So I'm going to just say okay and launch it. Now don't forget, our today's class is to teach you how you can be able to use your pen tools to crop out image. So what we have to do is to import an image, which is Ctrl plus I to import the image you'll be using. So I'm just going to quickly find the image I'll be using for these lectures. So this is it. Once it's showing like this, that means an image has been attached to it. I'm just going to click and drag. You see, I'm just going to click and drag. Okay, now this image, you want to actually crop it. Now I'm just scrolling. Use your scroll wheel to scroll in and also scroll out. So I want to crop this image. So how do I crop this image? Now we are going to be using the pen tools. There are so many ways to crop out image, but now the tools we'll be using on today's tutorial is known as the pen tools. Now this pen tools enables you to hold the edges of this image, putting them together, and make sure it hits back to the dot. What this simply means is, whatever you are generating, make sure it hits back to this dot, because once it does not hit back to this dot, you can't be able to crop out anything, or you can't be able to do whatever you want to do with it. These pen tools do a whole lot of stuff, but on today's tutorial is just to use it to crop. Now let's get into the class. Now I'm just going to click on my pen tools. I'm just going to zoom in using my scroll. Now I'm just going to click. You can see I'll be clicking on each dot. You must be very careful. Now whenever you reach a place where it's kind of like you see here, it's kind of curve. What I'm just going to do, I'm just going to hold my click, then drag. You see, once I drag, I can come back here and click. You see, I can continue what I'm doing. You see, now I always advise people, do not crop from the edge like this. Always crop inside the image. Always crop inside. Leave a little bit should I say a little bit you just enter a little bit inside, like somewhere like this. Don't just crop like this. For instance, don't crop like this, doesn't make sense. So Ctrl Z is to undo what you have done, then just zoom in. You can see how I'm doing it. So let me just be fast. See, you see what I'm doing? So you have to just settle down, take your time. You know, for your first try, it's going to be very difficult for you. You know, it's because I've actually mastered the tools. So the pen tools is one of the best tools you need to actually watch out for or learn, both on Photoshop and not just on Photoshop alone, but also on Coreldraw. So the pen tools is something I would advise anybody who is learning should concentrate on and put in his best, he or her best, to get the way to use it. So there are many ways to use your pen tools. Many people have different concept on how they use the pen tools, but this is my own way of using the pen tools that enables me to do a job very, very fast. Now once I'm done with this, you see I've hit it back to the dot. I told you if you don't do that, you can't be able to crop out any image from this place. Once I'm done, what I have to do is to come back to my big tool, zoom in, and select from outside inside. You see I selected this and this. You see I selected this and this to know whether you have an accurate edge, like you hit it on the dot. Like I said, just come here, you see that means I actually hit it on the dot. If I did not hit it on the dot, if I put any color, it's not going to work. So Ctrl Z. So I'm just going to come outside here and select everything together. Then once I select, just look at the above it. I told you, whatever you are doing anything, always look above the property bar, because these are your property bar. Now when you look above, there are three things there. I'm going to be explaining this maybe in my next class. The word tools, you can see the trimming tools, and you can also see the intercept. But today we are not using all of these. The only thing we are using is the intercept, which is the third one. So once you click on intercept, this is what happens. This. So you can see we have just intercept these tools, but we are not yet done. You know why? Because we still need to arrange the edges, one, and secondly we still have blue inside this place. That is why I try in as much as possible to take something that we have. You see this thing now, we have something inside. How can you be able to remove this inside? Now what you have to do is to still go back and click on your pen tools again, and you still do the same thing, the same method. So you have to just settle down and always try to zoom in to get the real definition of what you are cropping. So you see on this edge, just hold your mouse, the click, and just turn. You see anything you are doing, just hold, then hold your click, it will automatically turn to curve. You see, hold your click, it will automatically turn to curve. You see. Now here also, okay, let me show you something. There are two ways. Maybe if I don't want to go through this method, I'm just going to just do it like this, and let me finish up. When you finish up, you can actually arrange it. So you see, I'm going to show you something now. Another way or another method people usually use to crop. Some people don't want to hold their click and just arrange it automatically. They'll want to go through some double stress, but although it's not stress, it's their way of doing their things. Now you see, for you to do this place, this is, now you have to come to your shape tools. Your shape tools have given you an opportunity for you to arrange whatever here. You come to this place, if you do it like this, you see what happens. So Ctrl Z. What you have to do here is to click and right click, left click, and say to curve. Once you say to curve, you see. Now if here is going inside, you just double click here again and just keep a dot there. You can see I'm just going to arrange this. I'm just going to zoom in, arrange this. I see, just arrange this. So me, I don't like going through all this stress, so what I have to do is just to do it once and for all, instead of going through all this stress. So once I'm done, I'm just going to go back to my big tools again, select everything. Then we are using another tools, which is what? Your trim tools. You see, now we have used your trim tools. It's no more intercept. Now let's assume we intercept this. Now this is what happens. You see, it doesn't make sense. So we don't need to intercept again. What we have to do is to trim out. We want to trim out this place, so just click on trim. You see, once you are done, you can just keep this one side, or better still delete it. You see, you can still zoom in, you can see something here. Then you still do the same thing you did for all. Sorry, I didn't start it well. Delete, then just zoom in. Always try to zoom in So you just have to keep on zooming in, then arranging it. You can see whenever you don't have a curve, you don't need to hold your click. Just but yeah, I hold my click, then hit it, then I'm going to select everything from here. Also do the same trimming. You see it's out. I can delete this. You can see I'll come to this place also. P is the shortcut. Okay, Control P, I guess. Oh, sorry. So Control P is to print. So let's go back to this pen tools. I guess pen tools should have a shortcut to it. Maybe if you just press F5, but it's going to bring out a different one, but it's under its family. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm taking my time to explain this. So always make sure whenever you start trimming, you should always hit at the edge of the other from where you started. Always make sure, if not it will not crop, and you'll be wondering, you can come to my DM and start asking me, I tried it did not crop. You know why? Because you see, I always make sure at the end of the day I always hit it where I started. Once you hit it there, it will just automatically deselect itself. Then I'm just going to go back again, select all and trim, zoom in, then remain this place, this last place. Now if anything is at the back of this image, maybe something tiny, or you have, okay, let me show you something now. Maybe you refuse to remove this one now, and you said, okay, let me start another. I'm telling you now some errors many people make, why they don't get results whenever they use the pen tools. You can see this is the fastest. I love this way a lot. It enables me, but for a starter this will give you a whole lot of headache. Now you see I've finished. What I have to do is advisable for me to remove this one, there is no more, and make sure there's nothing in between this, maybe at the back of this. Let it just be this and this stuff I have cropped. Make sure it's like that. If not, it will not work. Then I have to trim again. You see, I can just delete this, maybe delete all of this and zoom in. You see, now I just purposely left this so you can see what I'm explaining. Now you see this is outside, somebody's actually see. That's why I always tell you crop inside. You see, this is not outside, this is just inside plainly. So for us to correct this error, what we have to do is to select the image and go back to where our shape tools. You see, our shape tools will give us all the dots for us to do whatever we want to do. So what I have to do here is to come to this place and maybe double tap. Once you double tap, it removes the dots. You see, it removes the dots, and once you double tap, it creates a dot. Why you create a dot is you can move from here. You can see now you can move from a dot, you see, and it will affect this other. You see, I'm moving just here and it's not affecting here. So once you create a dot, it's just going to affect the place you are trying to work on. So I'm just going to move this, and I'm going to double tap here, remove these dots, and let everything just move together. You can see I'm going to zoom in and double tap. You see, I can just arrange this place by double tapping and bringing it outside a little bit. You see, you know how a hand should look like. So most of the time some image will not be like that, so you have to just do some little adjustments. Now you can select many dots together and actually move them together. You see, so whichever one, just select from outside. You can delete many dots you want to delete. Maybe a dot that is giving you an issue, you can just delete it. You can now zoom out. You can now remove maybe all these dots here by double tapping. Remove all these dots, because then you were trying to just get the way. So I always advise this dot shouldn't be very much. It shouldn't be very much. You see, this place has that thing, so you just Ctrl Z and come back. You see, it still has it, so you just put a dot here and come back here and delete again. You see, it's going to just affect wherever you want to do. You see, so you just, even here, you see here it's like boxy, instead of it to be you see, it's making sense now. We are trying to curve it, so we are going to arrange here. So here we'll just look. You see what I mean now. You see, no, this is done. So what I have to do is to shift in, double tap here, and you see, I'm just trying to just arrange this so it will be smooth. What I'm trying to do, I'm smoothing it. You see, it deformed this, so I'm going to create a dot here and double tap here. So you see the dot is kind of reducing little by little. You see, I've just removed 3 dots. You can see what I'm doing. No, it doesn't make sense. So I'm just going to double tap. You see, it's making sense. Here it should be an ovary round shape. You see, I'm just going to push it in a little bit, just to do some little adjustment. I'm going to push this inside a little bit, and I'm going to, you see, here also is another way of arranging things. So you can just arrange here, so it will just be smooth if you want to. Then that is how you just go about arranging everything. Okay, you can just leave that. And come here, this hand aspect, you can just arrange it a little bit. You can just touch only this and touch this. You see, touch this. You can see, touch this also. So you just have to take your time. Now once you are done, you can even zoom, drop it. Now you can put any color you want by clicking your box tools and maybe putting green or blue. So what you have to do is to right click and say order to the back page. You can see, you can even put white. You can see, so any color of your choice you can now put. You can put ash, just make selection of any color you want. You can put black. So that is how you can be able to crop on Coreldraw. That is how you can be able to crop on Coreldraw. Thank you for following. Many of this video will be coming in, then you start understanding how we can be able to make use of all these tools.